Are we live? All right, we are here. Should be going. How is the sound though? Check that in a moment. Sound check. Sound check. How are we sounding? Are here. It's good enough. If you have sound issues, let me know. Can always make it louder. All right. There we go. Get the chat up. We got Baltimore versus Tennessee this morning. All right, that's going. Just checked the weather. Only real weather game of any concern is Minnesota versus the Bears with borderline bad sustained winds, just under kind of the threshold of 20 miles per hour with gusts of up to 30. So, not the best situation there, but tough to not play those wide receivers this week in those matchups against each other. I think that could be a barn burner of a game. All right. Just making sure everything's up and running here. Looks good. Yeah. Let's check candlestick graphs for NFL power. Oh, thought that was something about power outages. In case anybody in here is a Devon A-Chain owner, good news. He's only expected to miss 4 weeks, so that's a positive. Something on my glasses. Oh, looks like it might be a slow week in here. Haven't been a lot of feel like the injury reports ended up being fairly clear this week. So I think a lot of people have been able to make up their decisions without too many surprises coming down the wire here. Unless, of course, we get some crazy news this morning. That would make things change a little bit. Mac Jones going to be on a short leash today. I don't know that impacts anything fantasy-wise. And this morning, there were, let's see, David Njoku is expected to be playing. And same with, well, I have it on my list here. T. Higgins expected to be playing. Keaton Mitchell will be playing. You don't really want to try to trust that this week. Good to get on your bench, though, if you have a spot for a flyer running back with potential high upside. Darren Waller is expected to play. Robert Woods expected to play. Tank Dell expected to be out. Saquon Barkley is still a big question mark, and not one that I necessarily want to be waiting on. All right. Looking over my rankings here, making sure I don't have anybody I want to change or out of place. Whoa. Slept weird. Back doesn't feel great this morning. Keenan Puka. Chris Olave. Do I want to move him up? I don't know. It's like my alley of don't trust these guys, but you gotta play them probably. my alley of trust him, but you gotta. But I don't want to, but you still gotta. And mustards. Ow. I think I did a pretty good job with the rankings this week. We'll find out. Alright. Yeah, weather has been good this season. Hasn't impacted too much. This is going to be an interesting game this morning. Any predictions on who's going to win? Adam McKinney. Sorry if I took a second. Half PPR. Start 2. Chris Olave. James Cook. Madison. Addison. So I think I lean towards for Chicago versus Minnesota, that being a shootout rather than a running back game. If it is a running back game, Madison could have a big game, but I lean towards Addison a little bit in anything aside from like non-PPR scoring. And I want a piece of that offense for sure. I don't know that I want to go with both of them. So I would definitely go Addison there. And then I think I would go James Cook. It's a really good matchup and everything. I don't really trust Olave a whole lot yet. I know James Cook is nice and safe. You probably don't have a huge ceiling, but I think you have a really high floor. So if I had to make the decision, those are probably the two I would start, would be Cook and Addison. Well, who do you want to play out of those two? Just curious, Adam. If you got a moment. If not, that's all right. You get on with your day. Go ask somebody else for their opinion, whatever. You are welcome, sir. Thank you for the manners. We'll say the good news if you're still here. You play any two of them, you can probably. You're hopeful that it's not going to be a bad day at least. Ooh, the Buccaneers are going to be wearing their creamsicle uniforms today. And what helmets? Okay. Yeah, so in the same boat there, basically. I was curious, as being the owner of the players, if you might have a different perspective on them. But yeah, that seems to me you get a ceiling with Addison and probably a safe floor this week too. And then with Cooks, you get a nice safe floor. Jenna Ants coming in. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Start 2, Mike Evans, Jacoby Myers, James Cook. Yeah, I mean, the good thing if Chris Olave goes off on your bench is hopefully like Chris Olave has arrived. There has been a little bit of an excuse with the quarterback injury, at least 2 weeks ago for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Mike Evans, I love this week. And if you're in any kind of PPR scoring format, half or not, I think I would go Jacoby Myers over James Cook, trusting the upside a little bit. But let me just quick look at my projections on those two for you, Jenna, if you got a moment. Otherwise, I lean towards a receiver in a situation typically over a running back at like a flex situation. So if we look at so Jacoby, I have expected to be about 9 to 14 points. My running back actually changed my projections on my running backs a little bit. So let me get up my new sheet. If I have time. Full PPR. All right. Then I mean, the thing is, it is James Cook. He does get receptions. Let me just check. Ooh. There we go. About 9 to 15. Still likes the ceiling on James Cook a little bit more there via my rankings. Yeah, but James Cook, like, they're just one of those teams where they never seem to rely on the running, and I feel like if they do get into a situation where they're going to be running the clock out, it's more like Latavius Murray who's going to be seeing the ball more. So my projections like the ceiling a little bit more on James Cook. I'll put it like that. I think I personally would go Mike Evans, Jakobi Meyers. I don't know that that's what I would do, though. So if you're leaning James Cook there, Jenna, I have zero issue with that. Jacoby's not going to be great every week, that's for sure. I would definitely start Mike Evans there. And it's really a toss-up between the other two. So go with your gut on it is my personal call. Nothing wrong with James Cook. Snyder, who do I start? Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, or Salvon Ahmed? Oh, boy. How do I have him ranked? I mean, I gotta say... Ooh, a defense question. I'm going to have to look at... That's going to take me a second. Smitty. Snyder, is that full PPR or anything like that? Let me know. Because Gus Edwards quickly falls out in any kind of PPR situation, I think, for me. Where do I have Salvon Ahmed? I have him ahead of Justice Hill. So, I like the upside of... It's such a risky play, right? But I do like the upside in this matchup for Salvon Ahmed to get utilized a little bit. And so, I personally would probably hope for that and go with Salvon Ahmed. Full PPR. And that only helps the argument, especially for Salvon and Justice Hill. But even... between Justice Hill and Salvon, I still think Ahmed probably has gets a little bit more of a bump from full PPR there. So that's the route I would go. I like the touchdown upside equity there for Ahmed. Yeah, I would stick with my rankings on that one, Snyder. Hopefully that helps. I'm currently with James Cook in the lineup. I trust he gets in the end zone. Yeah, Jenna, go for it. I'm in full support of it. All right. Defenses. We've got Washington, Atlanta, Rams, Raiders. So I know the Raiders are like a darling this week. I don't like bad defenses against bad offenses. I just don't think it works out. But let me look at this schedule. Week 6 NFL schedule. I don't have them all memorized. Washington... going up against Atlanta. So between Atlanta and Washington's defense, I would lean Atlanta. Between Rams, Cardinals, the Cardinals offense does a good job of not turning the ball over. You're welcome, Snyder. Appreciate you coming on through. Really do. I think I lean... Oh, let me double check Raiders just in case here. Yeah, it's Raiders Patriots. I just don't like bad defenses very much. So if it was my choice, I think I would go Atlanta. If you are still here, Smitty, I'm also going to check... I don't know if you've ever heard of Subvert a Down. is a very mathematically based projection guy. Used to post his stuff all to. I'll actually type it in here. So it's subvertadown.com. I used to post his stuff to Reddit and stopped doing that. He's got any of these defenses? None of those defenses in the top. And unfortunately, you do need to subscribe for the full rankings. He's gotten popular enough. None of them are in the top 10 there. So I would go Atlanta there, Smitty. I hope that works out. I just think they have the highest chance of like getting a pick 6, which is really what I want from my DST. Also, a solid chance of getting sacks, which is the second best thing that I want, and pressure on the quarterback to help create turnover opportunities again. Oh, yeah. I think I liked the Jags a fair bit this week. Yeah, Jags vs. Colts with Minshew has already put himself on film a fair bit this season. Once teams get film on Gardner, they tend to do pretty good against him. And so I like that. I think so. I think that gives you your most upside. Well, I shouldn't say the most upside. I like them the most. Most upside, I would still say Atlanta by a little bit. But they're a good, solid play. They should at least get you the points that you're looking for, I think. George play 0-1. Start Tua or Fields? I have Fields ahead of Tua. I think this is another week for Miami where the opponent just isn't going to really be able to keep up with them, and they'll be able to stick to the ground a lot. And so I don't think that the ceiling is there for Tua, whereas even without Justin Jefferson against Chicago's defense, Minnesota should be able to keep up with any kind of good day that Justin Fields has. And Justin Fields should be able to have a good day against the Minnesota defense. And so that could really be a back and forth battle and a high scoring one. So I like Fields' ceiling and floor, really, more than Tua because of the rushing work. Not that that floor has totally been there this season, but my projections still like his floor. Probably because of the matchup. What do I think about the Dolphins versus Panthers this week, starting Dolphins defense? I think that it's not a bad play. Like, I don't really think that they're great at creating turnovers or anything. And I don't know how many turnovers the Panthers, what's his name? Bryce Young has really had this season. I guess if he's had a lot of turnovers, that would help. I like it as a safe play. I don't love the upside. I just don't think that Dolphins have been great at, once again, creating turnovers a whole lot. But the Panthers should be playing from behind and have to throw that ball a lot, so the opportunities should be there. Smitty, yes to Jags, already said that. The business circuit, Ertz or Kmet? I think I have Kmet ranked above, right? If that is full PPR, my only question would be, would I change that? And I don't think I would, just because Ertz's target share has gone down a little bit as of late. So based on that trend, I would stick with Cole Kmet in all formats. Jack Gorskowski, Devonta Smith, Chris Olave, Brandon Ayuk, pick 2. I know I go Smith there, and I guess I go Ayuk over Olave. You have 4 guys who, like, you know, for one reason or another, you're nervous about there. Or 3 guys out of, like, this group of 4 of mine, starting at Devonta Smith, Brandon Ayuk, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave. It's like, you probably got to play them. So I stick with my rankings on that. If it's... if it's full PPR, I was going to say, does that change Olave versus Ayuk for me? And I don't really think so. But if you're in full PPR, you could always Just go look at who gets more targets per game between Olave and Ayuk and go with the one with more targets. But it's going to be pretty close, I believe. Business circuit again, Pittman, Devonta Smith. So I'm going to go Pittman on that one, actually. Wilson or Kirk. How do I have this? Smith, Pittman? I don't think I quite have Christian Kirk ranked that high. I do. And Wilson. Oh. Yeah, I mean, you're like optimistic about Wilson and Kirk this week, and you're pessimistic about Pittman and Smith. I still have, well, actually, no, you're optimistic about Pittman, so Pittman all day. I would go Smith. They just lost both of their, they don't have like any of their cornerbacks. They have their number 3 cornerback. They're short. They're number 1, 2, 4, 5. So they should be a lot more susceptible on the perimeters this week. And we know that this offense can take advantage of good situations there. So I would go Pittman and Smith. Devonta's situation just got a whole lot better with Sauce Gardner being out. Andrew, start 2 PPR, Olave, James Cook, Ayuk. I'm going to go with James Cook and Ayuk over Olave. You can flip a coin, take whichever one you feel more comfortable with between those two. Full PPR, I don't think has any impact on which one you choose, but I just told somebody you could just go check which one has more targets per game and go with that one too. It's probably pretty close. Do I know how long Khalil Herbert will be out? At least 4 weeks. So I think the soonest he could return is week 10. And I think that'll probably be about the situation for that, Snyder. Jenna Ants, Bryce Young has had 5 picks, so like 1 pick a game. Not terrible. Yeah, Jenna Ants coming in saying that too about the Jets cornerbacks going out. That they're down to their number 3 cornerback and other defensive backs, not even necessarily cornerbacks. So they're going to be having guys who normally play safety going out on the perimeter, or their nickel coming out on the perimeter and safety guys coming down. It's not a great situation there for that secondary. Dunchiche, welcome in, brother. How you doing? Good morning. Half PPR, pick 2. Gonna go with Smith. Jenna's helped with that one. Waddle, Breece Hall. Ugh, right? That's not fun. Looking for where's Waddle? Okay. Not too far behind Smith. I mean, I'm thinking it's Waddle for me here. If I get a moment, let me check the projections. So I've got like 5 to 11 points for Hall. And Waddle's not going to be as high, I'm sure. 7 to... Okay. Waddle. Yeah, that's where I was leaning anyways. Waddle has a little bit of a higher floor there for you. And I would just stick with that floor and hope for the best. Hope it's a breakout game. Definitely possible this week. Not a tough matchup. So I would go Smith, Waddle. Smith, no doubt. If you wanted to start Breece Hall over Waddle, I get it. I don't think this is the week to do it. A little down on him, but it only takes 1 play for Waddle, so understandable. Thank you very much, Duncheche. Once again, sorry if I mispronounced that, but I like that pronunciation anyways. Hopefully you don't hate it. Rick, half PPR. Tyjae Spears or Kendrick Bourne? All right, so I'm a big Kendrick Bourne proponent this week. He's a guy that I put on my love-ums list. I'm thinking this is a really good week for him to blow up. His quarterback might not be in there all game. He's playing on a short leash. But if he can get the ball to Kendrick Bourne like I'm hoping, then maybe he doesn't get pulled from the game anyways. And or, it's probably not a huge drop-off to the other quarterbacks that they have on their roster. I'm going Kendrick Bourne there for the upside. Tyjae Spears for maybe a slightly safer floor. So it depends a little bit on your matchup there. But I like Kendrick Bourne this week quite a bit. And I believe I don't really love the situation for Tajay going up against, the Ravens overseas. I'd go Kendrick Bourne there, Rick. Thank you very much for the question. Froste? A little French maybe there? I'm sure not. Would you start Curtis Samuel over Amari Cooper today? Full PPR. Would I? Full PPR. I might. What's the matchups there? Full PPR. I might. Oh. I think so. I think I would, Frost. I think I'd go Curtis Samuel. Hey, people in the chat, let Frost know what you would do between Curtis Samuel, Amari Cooper, full PPR. Remember, Amari Cooper's working with PJ Walker at quarterback, which actually is not a huge drop-off. It's really just a drop-off accuracy-wise, but he does play as far as his ADOT and everything. Amari Cooper for your ceiling, Curtis Samuel for your floor is my call there. But everybody, let Frost know what you would do there. He's got the matchups. 49ers are playing against Cleveland. It's not a good matchup. We got the backup PJ Walker coming in. But once again, like I said, the big difference between PJ Walker and Deshaun Watson, based on how Deshaun Watson has played this season and based on PJ Walker's career, the biggest difference is about a 10% difference in the accuracy of the throws from PJ Walker. Yeah, he's not terrible. He can get the ball downfield, which should work well for Amari Cooper. He's an okay backup. I don't hate Amari Cooper compared to Curtis Samuel. Rick, love Tajay, but I feel like they're going to want King Henry to be featured in London. Yeah, it feels like a game that if anybody's going to blow up, it's not going to be Tajay. And it's a pretty good run defense regardless. And it's overseas. I'm not loving Tajay a whole lot this week. You can always flip a coin. If I had one, I would flip one for you. Just want to check my projections on those two to see what they say. So Curtis Samuel, I just don't have with much of a ceiling at all this week against Atlanta, which is what really concerns me. Like, you're looking at like 6 points probably from Curtis Samuel, which is on the borderline of a bad day. And on the borderline of a pretty bad day. Right on that borderline. You don't want 6 points, that's for sure. And Amari Cooper's floor is like 7. Probably, did I reduce that at all? Well, I did alter that with the new quarterback situation. I think I'd still go Amari Cooper there and hope for the best. Just really don't like that floor this week. Most weeks I would go Curtis Samuel, but I don't like him a whole lot this week. So, Frost, my final answer is Amari Cooper, and it looks like the chat was leaning Amari Cooper too a little bit out of the help that we got there. Snyder, Lamar, or Tua? Is this different than before? Yeah, it is. I think I have Lamar over Tua, don't I? Yeah, one spot higher. A little bit closer of a call there, huh? Let me see if I can't give you a little bit more nuanced of an answer between those two. But it is Lamar for me, straight up. Yeah, Lamar's just going to provide such a bigger ceiling for you. So I would go Lamar. Of course, Tua could always have a huge week. So could Lamar. I'm going Lamar on that one, Snyder. Hopefully that works out. I have a back-to-back in my rankings, so if you have a gut feeling one way or the other, go that way. We have 5 minutes. So start Marquise Brown, Zay Flowers, Christian Kirk, full PPR. It looks like I would go Christian Kirk, I believe, out of that bunch for sure. And Marquise Brown, Zay Flowers. What do I have? I have Marquise Brown. So I would go Christian Kirk, Marquise Brown between those two, and hope that works for you. Not bad options all the way around. Jordan Addison or Chris Olave. I would go Jordan Addison myself, but I don't believe that's how I have it ranked. I believe I still have Chris Olave ahead. So my official answer is Chris Olave. Oh, if it was my lineup personally, I think I would just go Jordan Addison and hope for the best there. That's my answer, Irvin. That's one of the rare times I will directly say I really don't like my ranking of Chris Olave a whole lot, and I like the upside of Jordan Addison. So that's the route I would go. Amari Cooper it is. I will be rooting for Amari Cooper today. I'm not going to forget about that piece of advice for us. So you are welcome. Good luck with that. I hope it works out for you. Yeah, Irvin. Once again, Chris Olave is my official answer. That's the advice that I feel I have to give. But if it was my own lineup, I think I would go against my own rankings and put Jordan Addison in there. Which is a weird thing, and I hate that happens sometimes, but it's how the world works. Camden Williams. Do I flex D-Hop or Godwin? Or wait and see if Barkley plays? I don't think it's worth waiting and seeing, but I mean, what's your backup option, Camden, if Barkley does play? Okay, neither of those players are going right now. Only reason I'm not playing Amari is because I grabbed Chuba off of waivers. Otherwise, I'd take the chance. Oh, yeah, Chuba's a good go this week. Rachaad White or JT? Nick coming in with that question. Camden, please let me know if you have what's your backup plan if Barkley doesn't play. Rachaad White, Justin... I always screw up his name. Jonathan Taylor. I think I have Rachaad White ranked higher, don't I? So Rachaad White's your safe play. JT is your upside, but could be a similar week to last week. Is always possible. Maybe like, what do you have? Like 2 points last week. Maybe it's like 4.8 points this week. I go Rachaad White. Chat, feel free to pitch in on that one. Rachaad White or JT. Help Nick out with that. Once again, going to my rankings, I got it Rachaad White. If you're in a non-PPR, a little bit more of an argument maybe for JT in that situation. Actually, a lot more of an argument for JT in that situation. JT, non-PPR. Any points, I go Rachaad White there. Just barely. Start 3 half PPR. Lamb, Ridley, AJ Brown, Puka. So AJ Brown, more confident in now that the New York Jets are without any of their perimeter. They're on their number 3 cornerback, and their 4 and 5 are also missing, which means that they're going to have safeties, nickelbacks out of position, trying to work out things. So don't love that for the Jets this week. Puka, I know I got highly ranked over the other 2 pick 3. So I think Lamb, AJ Brown, Puka. Does that match up with my rankings? Probably. Where do I have Ridley? Yeah, I think that matches up with my rankings as well. So that's my gut feeling on it and my rankings feeling. Jenna, I would personally take Olave over him because of the weather, but that's just me. Yeah, there is a slight weather thing. I assume that was Chicago, Minnesota. So Irvin, Jenna came in the chat to help you out with that one. She would go with Chris Olave over Jordan Addison, and that is because there is a slight concern for the weather there in Minnesota versus Chicago. It is a touch too windy, as I have it written. I would take White. JT is going to play low snap share. Yeah, well, we don't know what the snap share is going to be, but it's probably not going to be massive. Camden Williams, I'm starting my running backs are K9 and James Cook, and my wide receiver are Metcalf and Olave. Just looking for a flex between D-Hop, Godwin, Barkley, or JT. Right, but if Barkley doesn't go, what's the time of the... I mean, if Barkley doesn't go, you don't really have an option. So I would play, I think it's Godwin over D-Hop. Yeah. I would go Chris Godwin out of that group. Hope that Mike Evans maybe is a little bit of a distraction this week. and Godwin could pop off in that situation. Barkley's just too much of a question mark, even if he plays. A lot of question marks. The news this week about how good that his ankle looks and how it's been limiting him in practice has not been good. JT's a real big question mark as to his usage, as Jenna Ants pointed out as well. And D-Hop, don't love this matchup. Baltimore's been surprisingly good against the receivers, so not great. Amari Cooper or Emari Demercado? I would go Amari Cooper there. All around, I would just go with Amari Cooper. Trust that situation. Not trust it, but hope for the best with that situation with PJ Walker at quarterback. He can get the ball downfield. And Amari's going to be the guy you would think that he would target. Jenna Ants, they are slowly bringing him back, but worth holding on to. Well, yeah. Definitely worth holding on to. Kickoff in 5 minutes. Thank you, Snyder. It is now been 5 minutes, right? Or is it a 35 kickoff time? I think we're going to go to commercial and then kick off when we come back, I'm assuming. I'll stick around for the first drive just in case people are still coming in with any kind of questions. And then I do come back in an hour prior to the main slate of games. We're going to end that poll. And it looks like people think that JT is going to outscore Zach Moss this week. I do have Zach Moss higher in my rankings, so interesting. Dose Anthems, true. Does take a little longer. All right, everybody's getting loosened up on the sidelines, high-fiving each other, getting jacked up, getting ready for the long day. Hoping they went to the bathroom before things got started here. Thinking about all those little things. Getting lined up. We got the kicker out there putting the ball on the tee. They're on the pitch, y'all. Ronnie Daniel coming in with the question. Chuba, Amari, or Foreman? Full PPR. That does change things there a little bit, huh? I think that just, I don't know how I have him ranked right now, so I do have Chuba over Foreman, which means that he's going to be ahead of Amari. Yeah, I would go Chuba, and the fact that it's full PPR only strengthens that argument for me. It does bring up Demercado a little closer to Foreman there, but I would go with Chuba. So we had the kickoff, and it didn't go anywhere of importance. I have Mixon and Saquon. Which one of the top three would you run with Mixon? I don't trust Saquon. Yeah, that's fair. He might not even play, so if you didn't have anybody in that late game or Monday night game anyways, it would be tough to trust without any further information, which we have not seen any further information on him yet. So, yeah, I would go with Chuba Hubbard and feel pretty good about it. He should outscore Saquon, probably. You know, even if Saquon's a go. Even if Saquon's, like, feeling pretty good, but better than the reports have said, he still might outscore him, so. I think you're good there. So we had a quick throw out. Was that Safe Flowers? I don't know. Doesn't look small enough. Thanks for coming in with that question, Ronnie. Hopefully that works out for you. Yeah, that was Justice Hill. There we go. Justice Hill with a 2-yard reception out of the backfield there. Thanks, Snyder. And running up the gut, Justice Hill for, what, 5 yards there-ish? 4? 3. A tough earned 3 yards there. I thought he earned a little more there. You are welcome, Ronnie. Good luck. Got a teammate adding Dalton Kincaid, dropping Jonathan Mingo. Interesting sideways move that that's my opponent this week. That I don't think will matter. All right, 3rd and 5 here for Baltimore. They go to the air. Just a quick pitch out to probably. Oh my God, almost broke it out there. And that would be OBJ, yeah? No, Nelson Aguilar. I just saw the junior on the back. I figured. So Nelson Aguilar gets the little you know, what's that screen pass, wide receiver screen pass, and almost shoestring tackle there to stop him at the halfway point, right at the 50-yard line. So he falls down at the opponent's 44 or so. 46, I should say, or so. Yep, 46-yard line. Throw and reception for a gain of 14 there to Zay Flowers. And Nelson Aguilar, that was a 22-yard play. Yeah, he does seem like he would be one of those guys, Snyder, where it's just like, God darn it. And that's really because he's been touchdown reliant, which is why it's a little bit tough to recommend him. These are half PPR rankings, Mega Break. So yeah, there would be some players you're going to change around a little bit based on full PPR there. If you have any specific questions, let me know. I'm sticking around for a little bit here as we get into the first set of games, because I've noticed with these early set of games, a lot of people really don't seem to be having questions later on. Sit 1, full PPR, Josh Palmer, Chris Godwin, or T. Higgins? Sit 1. Oh, okay. Well, that helps. How do I have Josh Palmer, T. Higgins ranked? T. Higgins is such a question mark, but I don't really trust just Palmer, and I feel like full PPR doesn't really change much between those two. So I'm definitely playing Chris Godwin out of those three, and I personally would take the risk with T. Higgins. So personally, I would play Higgins. It's very close. If you don't trust him this week, that's very much, understandable. He has seemed like he has been off all season long, so that doesn't help. Combine that with coming back from injury. So Josh Palmer's your safer play. I think Higgins has, more upside given the offense and everything, which, is it back yet or not? We don't know. So lot of risks with T. Higgins there, whereas Josh Palmer feels safer, and Godwin for sure. Yeah. So I personally have him ranked Godwin Higgins, but Higgins is just a boom or bust play. You don't want to take that risk this week with your lineup, then just go with Josh Palmer. Michael Brantley, what's up, man? Thank you for coming on in. Need some help. Full PPR flex. Who would I start? Saquon late game. We don't know for sure if Saquon's even going to play, so the question will be, are any of these other options Bills, Cowboys, or Chargers? Zach Moss, Chuba Hubbard, Josh Palmer, or KJ Osborne? Am I just picking one there? My gut wants to just say KJ Osborne. This is full PPR. I don't think the wind is going to impact the KJ Osborne throws there. Chuba? Where do I have him ranked? I think I would go Chuba, actually, out of that bunch, Michael. I'm afraid if I sit Saquon, he won't play, and I'll be without a flex, and they play the Bills. Yeah, exactly. Like, you mean if you start Saquon that you would be in that situation, Michael, I believe. Yeah, I think I would just avoid Saquon, and I believe I would go with Chuba Hubbard. Feels really weird to say. Not a big Chuba fan, but not a big Josh Palmer fan, or a big KJ Osborne fan. They all have good opportunities. Zach Moss's opportunity, I feel, is going to be pulled back a little bit this week compared to last week. So I will go with Chuba there, Michael. And, there's about a 25% chance that I get the right one there. Hopefully, let's give myself a little credit. There's a 33% chance that I get you the right pick there. Those are similar looking options there overall. Hope that helps. Hope that works. Who got injured, Snyder? One of the wide receivers for... Oh. Looks like a defensive lineman for Baltimore. Higgins is such a boomer bust play. Also Burrow's fault. Well, some of it. But T. Higgins it's been weird. But also, is Burrow, back? So yeah, there's so many questions surrounding T. Higgins. Oh, Big Breakfast, I looked right over you. I'm so sorry there. Thank you very much. What's up, man? Start 3, Quentin Johnson, DeMarcado, Brandon Cooks, Wan'Dale Robinson. Start 3 there. I think I'm going to take the risk on DeMarcado, and I think I'm going to take the risk on Brandon Cooks and Wan'Dale Robinson. I don't know if that's... Let me check how I have them ranked. Ooh, interesting. Zazayan, while I'm doing that, start 2, Debo, Olave, Devonta Smith, Pittman, Jacoby Myers. Have had similar questions like this. I've got Devonta Smith. We're going to trust him with the New York Jets being without Sauce Gardner, their number 2 cornerback, their number 4, and their number 5 cornerback as well being out. So we're going to trust that situation much more without Sauce being in there this week. So Devonta Smith, we're going to go for it there, hope for the best. And I like Pittman this week, specifically in this matchup. Seems like it could be a good week, and I'm concerned about Debo overall, Chris Olave overall. Do you like Jacoby Myers? Don't love the matchup as much this week. So Pittman, Devonta Smith is the route that I would go. Looking at my wide receiver rankings, not DeMarcado. Quentin Johnson didn't even make my rankings because his projections were so low. So Brandon Cooks, Wan'Dale Robinson, their big breakfast. I hope that works out. Gross options. Yeah. Okay, that sucks. That makes a lot of sense. Jefferson, Achane, and Connor. Yeah, that was a rough week last week, huh? All that? Yikes. Big yikes. Yeah, rough choices. I would go DeMarcado, Brandon Cooks, Wan'Dale Robinson, and hope that it's a coming out week. Like, it could be for sure for Brandon Cooks. You could hope that it's a coming out week for Quentin Johnson, I suppose, as well. Aren't they coming off a bye? Right? Where they could have installed something to get him on board. But there just hasn't been much to be hopeful for there, and Wan'Dale will give you a little bit of a floor. Devonta Smith, Pittman, answer that for Zazayan. T. Higgins or Jordan Addison? I go Jordan Addison. Fewer questions there. I don't know how I have him ranked, but my ranking of T. Higgins right now is just sort of like it feels... I don't know. I'm slightly optimistic, but totally scared. It's a boomer bust thing where I feel like he could have a really big week, but there's not much reason to have confidence in that actually happening. So I like Jordan Addison quite a bit this week. There's a little bit of wind there that could cause some concern for Jordan Addison, but it shouldn't be so bad that it's going to really impact the game that has so much high upside for the passing game. So Jordan Addison, huge ceiling play. Nathan H, good morning. Good morning, Nathan. What's up? What 2 running backs should I start? Standard format. All right. Well, you're definitely going to go Monty in standard. Mixon, Breece Hall, Zach Moss, James Cook. I think you can probably take James Cook off of that list for standard. Although he is playing against the Giants, so that helps out a little bit. Mixon. Where the heck? Seahawks game, I don't know what to expect from that. Breece Hall, I really don't like a whole lot this week. It always takes one play. Zach Moss, I kind of like. I think I would go Monty and Mixon on that one for the floor there. I feel like he has as good of a chance as anyone of getting a touchdown. Probably similar to James Cook ultimately there. Yeah, I go Monty Mixon, Nathan. I hope that works out. I mean, you have a lot of good options that you're choosing from there, one way or another. But in standard, that's the route I would go. Adam Richmond. I mispronounced one end of that for sure. Potentially both. I did not go with the safe pronunciation. Richmond. Debo or T Higgins. I think I'm going to stick with my rankings on this one, which I haven't always done with T. And I believe I have T ranked higher, right? Or do I? Debo! Let's stick with the rankings. Debo Samuel on that one is the route that I would go, Adam, and I hope that works for you. Yeah, I think in all formats, basically, that would be my choice. Full PPR. Full PPR, it gets a little bit closer, but both of them have so many question marks that I'm probably still going to stick with how I have them ranked here. So, Debo in all formats, by a hair, depending on which format. Joshua Chong Lamasa. I had to have gotten that pronunciation correct, right? Waller for tight end. Bench is Thielen, Rashad White, Scary Terry, Zay Flowers, Jahmyr Gibbs. Don't expect Jahmyr. Jahmyr's not playing. IR is Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray, and Zay Jones. Am I missing something? Joshua. Is there a question? Big breakfast. Falcons, Rams, or Vikings DST this week? I know I take Falcons over the Rams. Vikings, I don't really like them a whole lot this week. I never liked them. Yeah, no, I'm going to go Falcons out of those three. Vikings could get lit up. Chicago's offense has been on fire for 2 weeks now, and Vikings D sucks. So I don't trust them. There will, I'm sure, be a few bad throws and whatnot to do something with, but I don't really trust them to take advantage of that. And based on recent trends, especially, don't like them. And Rams, I don't. I just, for the most part, Josh Dobbs has played really smart ball. So I don't think that Arizona is like as good of a matchup as you want to think it is against defensively. You know, things changed a little bit after the injury last week to James Conner. Who is that? Nick Westbrook-Ikhine getting the reception for the first down there for Tennessee as they start driving. Would I trade for a better quarterback slash tight end? Dak slash Stafford. Kupp, Tay, Adams. Josh Chang, you're killing me here. You don't have a quarterback right now. Are you asking if I would trade for Dak or Stafford? Or are you able to pick up Dak or Stafford, or do you have Dak or Stafford, or both? If you needed to trade, I think I would trade Mostart out of those options. I think you can get the most for him, and he has the most risk factor for him going forward. I wouldn't bother trading. No, tight end I wouldn't do anything with. That's if you need to trade for someone, and if it's the decision between Dak and Stafford, I would go for Stafford. Plus, you get to match him up with Kupp there. It looks like. So it's the route I would go. It doesn't look like you have a quarterback right now, Josh. No, that's my lineup. That's my starters, and the other message, yeah, was your bench. So you have Dak and Stafford in. Are you a 2 QB league? B-Rob or JT, full PPR. How do I have that ranked? And how does full PPR really factor into that decision? I don't know. I think we're going to go B-Rob on that, right? And I'm going to stick with my rankings on that decision. Yeah, I've got B-Rob a little bit ahead of. There's just too much question mark with JT. If we get a news report prior to the game about JT, he's going to have a bigger workload this week than last week. But if we get a news report that Zach Moss's workload is going to be heavily pulled back, or JT's is going to be heavily increased. We need to see some strong verbiage. Outside of that, I'm going with B-Rob. If you get those kind of verbs, I'm going with JT. I don't think that's going to happen. So B-Rob is my probably answer. That's my starters. Other message, Ben's. Yeah, Josh Chang. Hopefully what I just kind of talked about a couple of different scenarios there, so hopefully that would have helped you out. Now, thinking out with the bench that you can trade, I mean, you're probably going to want to trade for a really good quarterback if you're trading for a good quarterback. If you want to trade for a really good tight end, I think you're going to have to get rid of one of those starters, which, once again, I would go with Mostert. Scary Terry, Zay Flowers, Jahmyr Gibbs, Anthony Richardson, by the way, may not be coming back this season, so this is something else to keep in mind there. Kyler Murray, who knows when he's going to come back, if he comes back. I think he will come back, but who knows when. Zay Jones probably doesn't have a whole lot of trade value, even though he could and should, but he really doesn't. Adam Thielen's got a lot of trade value right now. So, yeah, I think what I said before should have been fairly relevant there as far as trading for something. Derek Dortch, I answered the one question. So, okay, Raiders defense or Atlanta defense? I'm going to go Atlanta defense. I don't really think I trust a bad defense, even against a bad offense. It is a good situation. It's just how I go about it. I don't trust bad defenses against bad offenses. I think Atlanta's is a little bit better, and Commanders offer a very, very high floor at the very least for them to have a fine defensive day. And then James Cook or KJ Osborne. I'm going to go with James Cook on that one by a little bit. It could be closer, but I'm just going to take the weather factor, even though I don't think that's going to really impact KJ Osborne of anybody. It's going to be a touch windy. Deep throws might be harder, but that's not... KJ Osborne's more of an intermediate guy from everything that I've always seen, so I don't think that'll impact him too much, but either way, it's James Cook for me. He should have a good day. If you really needed a ceiling shot, then KJ Osborne. So I guess it would depend the matchup for me a little bit. Like if I'm feeling like I'm playing a much better team this week, or a similar team, but their matchups are all really good and my matchups all suck, then I might lean towards KJ Osborne. Both of them have a similar enough floor this week. Big breakfast, last one here. That's all right. Ask as many as you need. I'm going to have to go eat and stuff soon, but we can make it for a little longer. We going Hubbard or Higgins? I think we're going Hubbard on that. Thanks for the help this morning. You are welcome, Big Breakfast. You're making me hungry, man. Stop with that name. I'm gonna have oatmeal, so not even a big breakfast. Maybe I'll make some eggs too. Hubbard. I'm just going with it. I'm not even questioning it. I'm just going Hubbard and hoping that T. Higgins doesn't have a big day and hoping that Hubbard doesn't have a bad day. He's got high floor. Tiggins' floor sucks. His ceiling's great, but who knows about that. All right, we've got Tennessee just plowing down the field here. 2nd and 9 from... They're within the 15, from the 15-yard line. And that was a collision. Oh, that must have been a flag there. A little interference, maybe, but the defender's looking at the ball. I don't know if they called anything there or not, but if anything, that was like offensive interference. He kind of played defense there. Did they call something on that? They called defensive pass interference. I think that's probably a bad call. Looks like it's a touchdown. Oh, he can't haul it in because he got not injured? Sure looked like that was going to be a bad knee injury there in the end zone. Thought the only reason he dropped it was from pain. Oh, his knee just kind of did a little wobble. But it looks like he's all right. That would have been Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. If I didn't answer somebody's question or something like that, let me know. All right, so 3rd and 8. A little screen pass to Hopkins? No, that's not. To somebody. Chris Moore. There we go. Only got him 6 yards, so it's going to be 4th and 2. They are down by 3, so I think they're going to take the points, but we'll see here. Only 4th and 2. They are taking the points. Kicker's out here. Nick Folk. 26-yard field goal attempt with about 5 minutes, 30 seconds left in the game. All tied up 3-3 thanks to the Nick Folk field goal. All right, we will watch the Ravens next drive here. Stick around for any questions that come on through. I guess I ended my my question thing a little bit early. All right, we're gonna check for any news. Oh, by the way, so the I never quite got to this. The Buccaneers are gonna be wearing their creamsicle uniforms with the old white helmets with the orange and the red, and then the Buccaneer biting the blade, winking at you. Old 70s, 60s uniforms, maybe. Old school uniforms. All right. See if there's any big news coming out lately this morning. Well, we are at commercial. Lost JJ and... Okay. You're not allowed to ask those questions in this subreddit, sir. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson strongly considering season-ending shoulder surgery once again for people. All right. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. 808. Good morning to you as well. Thank you very much for coming on in. 2 lineup questions. Pick 2 wide receivers: Kupp, Lockett, Evans, Godwin, or Hopkins. Well, Hopkins is currently playing, I believe. Kupp. It's Kupp is 100% going to be a choice, and I really like Mike Evans this week a lot. There's a small chance that he's being used as a, you know what those are. I want to say disguise, distraction, a decoy. That's the word. There's a small chance that Evans could be used as a decoy, but he was taken completely off of the injury report by Friday, so I feel pretty good that that's not going to be the scenario. So Kupp and Evans for me. I'm real high up on Evans this week, and Kupp, I mean, he's a must start. Lockett, been disappointing. Godwin, overall been disappointing, especially the only time that he really had a good week was while Evans was out. Hopkins is already going anyways, but I still would have chosen Evans and Kupp there. Pick 3 running backs: Henry, Kamara, Montgomery, and Jonathan Taylor. Once again, Henry is already going, so if you have him in your lineup, he should be locked in already. If not, then you can't play him. So I'm going to pick 3. So that depends. So I'm going to pick 2 more. Otherwise, it's the other 3 if he's not in your lineup there, 808. Kamara, Montgomery, Jonathan Taylor. Montgomery, Kamara for me. Not in that order. I would go Kamara, Montgomery. Unless it is standard, then I would go Montgomery, Kamara. But that order doesn't matter. So you're either starting Henry, Kamara, Montgomery, or Kamara, Montgomery, Jonathan Taylor. If somehow you can choose the running back this late, how do I have him ranked? I mean, you can't choose this late. Yeah, I go Henry over Taylor. So I would have started Henry over Taylor and hope for the best. Looks like Gus Edwards running up the side there for about 2.5 yards on first down for Baltimore. Gabe, what's up? Thank you for coming on in. James Cook is Saquon Barkley. If Saquon doesn't play, do you even have... Okay, it is. I was like, aren't they playing each other? I think I would go James Cook. Too many questions with Saquon Barkley. The news has not been good out of people who have seen him at practice, saying it's heavily taped around the ankle still. It's been heavily limiting him. So even if he plays, it's James Cook. And, just hope that Saquon doesn't have a blow-up day. But James Cook, regardless of the situation, Saquon might not even play, so any decision might be taken out of that one. Gabe, I have Henry in and Hopkins out. Yeah, so Henry, Kamara, Montgomery. I'm going to let Jonathan Taylor sit one more week and just hope, hopefully he goes off, and then you can start him going forward. Like off as in he gets a lot of usage as well. And then you had Hopkins out. So I picked two, Kupp and Evans. So I would be happy that you had Hopkins out in that situation. Kupp and Evans is my go there. Gabe, James Cook. All right, we're all caught up there. So it looks like Odell might have just caught a pass for 32 yards. They are now going to be, I think that might put them into the opponent's territory. Yeah, that puts them across the 51-yard line. Well, to the 49 of their opponent, across the 50-yard line. Ravens are now officially going. Could we get some Mark Andrews in here? That would be really nice. And the ball goes to, I want to say that's the running back. No, that's Aguilar again. I thought that was 35. 19-yard pass to Nelson Aguilar there on first down, which should bring them right into the 30-yard line, right? Right at. A really nice pass in not even his pocket still, but with a lot of very crowded around him. He is 7 of 7 for 99 yards so far in this game. Nelson Aguilar's 2 for 41. It looks like they're going to keep him in as a part of this offense, even with Rashad Bateman healthy and Odell Beckham healthy and Zay Flowers healthy. They run the ball. They're going to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half, almost 7, maybe 7, depending on the marking, yards from Gus Edwards, who had about 3 guys on him as he got to the line of scrimmage. So they gave him 6 there. That is appropriate. And they're going to give it to him again on the little pitch over to the right. He gets free for about, it's a first down, 8 yards. Looks like he's about 4 yards past the first down mark. Yep, 8 yards for Gus Edwards there. Mark Andrews now in the red zone. So that does get them into the red zone. Baltimore driving here. Just a good drive. Some big plays in the passing game and solid rushing attack going. Probably averaging like 5 yards in the rushing attack this drive. 4 yards roughly. 4.5 maybe. First down, Calls Hut going to Gus Edwards again. Almost got taken down in the backfield, but nice enough block to keep his guy off of him. About a gain of 4 probably on that first down play, so it should be the 2nd and 6 from the 16-yard line, maybe? 11, my bad. They were a little bit further than I thought. 5-yard game. They're at the 11-yard line, 2nd and 5. I'm really just only, I don't, call games or anything like that. Just doing this to keep it entertaining while this drive finishes up, and then I'm going to end this stream, and I'll be back 1 hour prior to kickoff for the main slate, so not too long. Couple of hours. All right, they ran it with Justice Hill there. It looks like they got a yard, maybe 2, 1 yard. So it's going to be 3rd and medium, 3rd and 4 from the 10-yard line. I mean, I think Mark Andrews would be like a great guy to throw it to right here, right in the end zone. We got Aguilar and Beckham split wide on one side. Probably doesn't look like Zay over there on the left. And he's going to throw it to Beckham over his head out of the end zone. What will they do here? Tie game, 3-3. they're going to go off the field, take the field goal, take the points. Going up against Tennessee, not a bad decision to just take the points. I'll agree with that. So let's make sure that they get the points, and then I'm going to head on out of here. Like I said, I'll be back a little later. If you get any questions, I was checking for any news that came out. We'll give one more refresh there to make sure nothing big has happened. Fine with these London games, they really don't release news during the games, especially early. For those locking in your fantasy lineups, you can prepare for Sam Laporta to play at the 425 game. The team is planning for him to be active. So I think that was already the expectation, but looking good for Sam Laporta. The field goal was good for Justin Tucker. 6-3 now, just about the end of the first quarter. Right? 4 seconds left in the first quarter. All right, doesn't look like there's any other big news really coming on through there. So thank you all for stopping on through, whoever's left around, and I will be back a little bit later. Peace out. Now it's going to take me a second to end the stream. Hold up. Awkward timing. Peace out.